Okay, so we're about to do a race at Lime Rock Park in the Spec Ford Racer. We're heading down the front straightaway. We just crossed the finish line, and we're about to head into turn one. Braking hard, turn one, downshifting once or twice. The car sometimes steps out a little bit, like you saw there. Try to stick. There's kind of a double apex turn there, so we want to kind of stick close to the middle of that second white curb. Let's back that up so I can point out what I'm talking about here. So we want to be a little bit wider instead of where we are right now, and then kind of touch closest here a little bit later. So we kind of early apex the second part of the turn, which means we're going to drift out a little bit wide over here than we want to, and so we're going to have to wait to get back on the throttle. So that's going to uh, it's not optimal. Have to lift off a little, brake a little there, which we wouldn't want to have to do. Kind of playing with the throttle here through these turns. Basically waiting for the front end to get enough grip, get far enough through the turn so we can get back on the throttle. Oh, lost rear end there. It's easy to do through there. We have kind of that hairpin, you're under heavy braking, and then going through a right, left, right complex there. Here we can kind of lift and slightly get on the brakes. You don't want to drift too wide. This isn't the greatest lap. Kind of eat a lot of curb there, let it roll all the way out to the left. We could have carried a bit more speed through there, but that's the basic idea. And then here's the start finish line is right here. We just passed the flag stand right there. So the line is, I guess, right here, or maybe it's right where that painted lime rock stuff is there. Yeah, maybe it's this line here. I'm not quite sure. But it's close. Where it's right here on the front straightaway. It's always on the usually the longest straightaway, and where you start the race is where the start finish is. All right, let's go ahead and jump to the start. Okay, so we're starting 14th, I believe. Our qualifying wasn't that great. We didn't really practice a lot. That's fine. I like starting from the back, so all good. Here we go. Let's watch the start here. Maybe we'll watch it from a different angle. Now let's go far chase or maybe chopper. All right, got a good launch. Came between these two cars here. Lots of traffic, lots of cars spread out over the place, just trying to be careful. I saw there's a car shooting up on the inside, just giving him room. Basically, you don't want to get in a wreck on lap one is the whole idea. Ooh, car came in super hot there. Two number two car, so we're number three car. So this means he is one of the fastest in the race. I think the number one car started on the pole. So this is a fast guy starting from the very back, so he's going to be very anxious to get by all of us most likely. A little more skilled, a little quicker. Some guys messed up the. We can back that up and check that out again here too. So lots of cars here. We're coming into a dangerous complex, and so very likely there's going to be chaos, especially lap one. Everybody's close together. So the breaking point is just before you get to this painted curb on the left side. So right about here, right about where this green car is about where you want to get on the brakes. But since it's lap one and a lot of cars backed up, you kind of get on the brakes a little bit earlier. Plus your tires aren't up to temperature, so uh, it's better to be safe. Plus we might have to go through here too wide, so that means you're going to have to go through there slower. All right, let's roll it half speed. So one car locks it up there, that orangish car. Uh, and then the blue car next to me here, the four car runs a little bit wide. The orange car touches the red and black car up there, and the green car touches him. We're just trying to avoid all this mess and get through there cleanly and give those guys room in case they're about to spin out or what have you, and get back on it and make up as many positions as we can right here. So that's the idea. And so we got a good, not optimal line here, but we got the inside and eat up a bunch of curb, give that guy as much room as possible. I don't know how he's going to take that turn on the outside of us there exactly, so I'm trying to err on the side of caution and give him as much room as I possibly can for him to do whatever he's going to do and hopefully not collect us. He drives it in deep here, which he's not going to make that turn at that speed. So then this other blue 14 car kind of gets a run. I see all this in the mirror a bit, and so I try to give them a little bit more room in case they're going to bump into each other or spin or wreck or whatever. Plus to have a more defensive line going into turn one. So you see this blue car then starts moving. outside towards the racing line. We're still on defensive line. He kind of overshoots it, definitely overshoots it, takes himself off the track, and the car behind him follows him off the track. Still got the number two car behind us, so he's again he's a bit more skilled than most of the other guys here, or at least that's what we would expect from his car number, which is based on his I rating, which is based on his finishing, uh, his historical finishing position. And I lost it, so I remember exactly what happened here. I wanted to get down into second gear to take this turn, and didn't get I didn't do my two downshifts right here in a straight line, and I realized I was in too high of a gear as I'm rolling through, so I decided to go ahead and shift right about here, which is a bad idea. That momentarily locks up the rear tires, and right when I needed traction on the rear the most, and around I went. Now I have to wait for all these cars to come through because there's lots of traffic because we just started the race. Everybody's nose to tail. So then I throw it in reverse to back up a little bit because I realized this could be a minute. And then I can't find reverse for a second here. I mean, I can't find forward gear for a second. So now we get taken off again. So not great. This guy probably spun off just seeing us backwards and freaking out. Uh, I'm guessing. I didn't see it happen. All right. Now we got some space in front of us. Let's try changing camera angles for a bit here. So we got a big gap in front of us, and now we lost a bunch of positions there. Now we're back to 14th position. I don't know how high we had gotten. I'm guessing probably sixth or something like that. So we lost a lot of spots with that downshift and spin there. Somebody else spun coming out of two. Let's go ahead and switch back to the chase view here. So this is kind of a high-speed course. This is the lowest speed turn on the track right here. And it's definitely a little tricky. You can make up a tiny bit of ground by taking it perfect. You can lose a ton of time by making a mistake like I did or like that guy did there. There's lots of ways to mess up that turn. But if you hit it perfect, you're gaining maybe a tenth or two compared to hitting it pretty good and being a little bit safer. So risk reward thing there about how much you want to push it, uh, not accounting for just flat out mistakes. Ran a little bit wide here, but kept it on the track. Car behind us is going to get a massive run. Let's see how much they close up on that. So that four car is behind us. And so I screw up my entry way wide, way off the apex. I got my braking not waited way too late on my braking. So now you see that four car closes up a lot because of that one mistake. So I'm just trying to keep it inside line here, apex perfectly, using all the curves on the inside, sticking to the inside. The point being, this guy's going to pass me. Go ahead, go for it. Around the outside. I'm claiming the inside. I'm also braking a little bit safer going into that hairpin. Uh, so that way I get a good exit out of there. So at this point, the car behind is, they smell blood in the water. They see you made a mistake. They're as close as they've been. They're trying to pounce wherever they can, get a great draft down the straightaway. I leave slightly less than a car width on the outside, is what I try to do. Um, when I'm running a defensive line. You can see the weight shift across the car there. If you saw that, we can back that up and look at that in slow-mo. Um, so if you look closely right here, the car is leaned over to this outside of this outside part of this turn. You can see it here a little more clearly. The car is leaning towards the outside as the suspension is fully compressed right there on the left side of the car. Slow it way down. So we're sliding those front tires a little bit, and then you'll see the weight transfer back. Right now, the car's about neutral, almost flat, and then now the weight's going to transfer all the way back to the other side. You see this front tire pick up here. So all the weight is transferred to that uh, right front corner of the car to get it to turn. So you can see it transfer left to right there. Now we're approaching some cars in front of us, and we have this guy on our butt. So, and the car in front of us is the number one car. So we know he's quick, should be quick, but he must have got into it. And you can see there was a little bit of damage on the front of his car. He had some scrapes. So he definitely gotten into it with somebody somewhere. You see the kind of both sides of the front of the car is damaged on that the green car in front of us. So the damage may be affecting, probably is affecting his handling a little bit. He dives it in the pits. Yeah, he definitely thinks it's affecting the handling, so he's going to take it in the pits, get it instant repair, and come back out. So he basically pays the penalty for the time it takes to get into the pits, slow down to the pit lane speed, stop in his stall, and then immediately take off again uh, and go pit lane speed until he exits the pits and then get back up to speed. So probably about 20 seconds overall. So he probably did some quick math and figured out it's better for me to pay the 20 seconds and then have a car that's fun to drive versus having a car that's a pain to drive and just lose time in more spots throughout the race. Um, oh, somebody spun there. We can see how that was done. Let's see here. All right. So, all right. So he's coming in here. Go quarter speed. Kept his braking pretty late. Still on the brakes as he's turning in. Still on the brake. Still on the brake. Now he lost the rear end. The rear end slide and he turns into it, but it's too late to save. The car is too far gone. And so that's that. So this is Paulo. We will see him again. There we go. All right. Um, you can see the suspension compress over that bump too. That was kind of interesting. As we hit this inside curb, oof, that rear suspension, you can see it go way up in the body there. So one of the tough things about that is the car spinning. You see it spinning or it's already spun and it causes you to want to look at it, which causes you to lose focus for a split second and not hit your marks how you should. So um, you see a lot of people, especially like rookies or beginners, somebody else will spin and then they'll spin immediately. Their uh, what's it called? Like their focus, their focus. You know, they're staring at the wrong thing. Instead of keeping your eyes moving, keeping looking around, keeping looking farther ahead, they're staring at something going off the track and then they follow it right off the track. There's a name for that, but it's escaping me at the moment. So I think this four car is a little bit quicker than me. I just haven't practiced a lot, and so like we should be about the same speed, but I feel he's just quicker. Um, he's getting into the turns a little bit better, but it's hard to pass, especially here. The track is moving around a lot. It's a pretty fast track. There's not a lot of heavy braking, so it makes it hard to beat somebody on entry. It makes it hard to beat them on exit. You really need the other car to kind of make a mistake for you to have a to pull off a pass. And if they just run the line correctly, like kind of that of like I braked correctly, stay to the inside. He basically has to drive it around the outside and do it perfectly, which is hard to do because you can't see as well when you're going around the outside. You can't see the inside of the turn. Your vision is blocked. I'm bouncing off the inside of the curb, which isn't probably the perfectly fastest way through there, but I'm driving hard. I realize he's on my butt. He probably takes a little bit of a peek here. I'm keeping to the inside. Now we're going to go down this hill a little bit. We're coming out of this front straight. Some people just flat don't lift through here. I lift a little bit and brake a little bit, try to get the car rotated a little. So I think he's gaining a little bit coming onto the front straightaway on me, and then he gets the draft, which gains even a little bit more. But then he's got to decide if he's going to use it or not. Turn one, two, right there. That's two. They're both right-handers. People take a lot of different lines through there, so it's quite dangerous to try to pull off a pass through there. Let's switch to his in-car view. That might be interesting. You can often kind of see where they're making up ground on us when you watch that view. He shifted a little early there. He's getting a great draft. He's going to dive up the inside. He's got to get all his braking done. Doesn't know how long I'm going to stay on the outside, and he loses the rear end a little bit under braking and downshifting. And then I'm probably still there. I can. Oh, he got me clear. All right, I'm still there. So I'm fighting back. Something I like to do. Some people just I feel like kind of give up after they get passed. Um, I kind of like to make them work for it. Keep the race going. It's probably safer just to let them go if they're faster than you and try to follow in their draft. So he dives it up the inside. I take a wider line because I know he's there. He loses it a little bit, and then do the crossover, switch back underneath him, which is great for that turn, but not so great for this next one because now he's on the inside. So that's fun. So let's just to belabor this a little bit. Let's back this up one more time. Okay, let's go from in car, our in car. Okay, so this is Art we're racing against. So Art's coming up the inside. We're sticking to the outside here. Is that real speed? You can see he wobbles it a little bit there. I kind of back off a little bit, not sure if he's going to slide out or what. So he has it there. He pulls back towards the racing line here, and we go the opposite way, stuffing it up the inside, making him have to worry about it, eating all the curb on the inside. But now we have to change our line a little bit, taking the outside there. Now he's got the inside line coming up on this hairpin to the chicane to the right, and so outbrake myself going in there, and basically cut the corner, cut the chicane on purpose because I knew I had screwed up my braking and wasn't going to quite make it. Um, so we'll switch back to the TV camera view here. So on the exit of that turn, we had gotten. Just let this run. I just outbrake myself. You can see that inside right front tire lock up. So then I had to kind of straight line the chicane and go off track to keep the car straight. And so I lost time there, and I had to give up some time because I cut the track. So he gets the position. That was fun. We had a good battle. And maybe the battle's not over. Keep fighting, keep challenging. So we got Art in front of us in the 4 car and Paolo behind us in the whatever it is, the green car, green and yellow. Both quite quick. That Paolo's in the 1 car, I think. So you got some skill here of this race. 3 of the supposedly most skilled uh, 4 guys in the race running kind of. Oh no, he's 10. Sorry, Paulo's 10. I thought he was higher ranked than that, but he's definitely quick, regardless of his ranking. All right, let's back that up. That was almost uneventful. So we're coming through. We're drafting off of him. Go cockpit view. Okay, so we're coming towards that hairpin. We closed up a lot back here somehow. We got into one a little bit better. This is one. Got through two a little better. He has a little bit of a push. He can't quite get into the throttle. And then we take a different line a little bit, rolling through three. Didn't quite come out of the throttle completely on four. Now we got a little bit of a draft, and we're gonna poke our nose up like we're gonna go for up the inside and see what he does. So the idea here is make him nervous. Uh, we still have time to back out of it, maybe, not try to pull this off. But if the guy thinks you're going to try to pull it off, they're probably going to have to slow down for safety. Because, like, uh-oh, what if this person dive bombs the inside? What if they run wide like I did a lap ago, which is how he got the position to begin with? So you make them nervous, right? The problem, the difficulty with doing this is, as the car on the inside, you can't see your normal braking marker. Our normal braking marker is right before that curb, but I can't see it when we get closer to it because this car is going to be blocking my view. So I kind of got to guess at it, and I have to back it up a bit because I don't have the full use of the track, the full width of the track. So I got to brake even earlier than my normal marker. And I'm probably carrying a little bit more speed because I was drafting off of him and had a great run through those last couple of turns. So uh, anyway, all that to say, you got to do things a little bit differently because you don't have full use of the track. So I'm already at like 70% braking there. So let's see, go really slow. Way back here, I'm already 70% braking, like 2, 3 car lengths earlier than I normally would. And then start coming off the brakes a bit, 50%, 70%, 40%, 30%, rolling through here, leaving space on the outside. He's still there. He might still be there. We don't know. I probably saw him clear in the mirror a little bit here, maybe not, and just figured out, like, let me just go for it. Cut in a little bit there. Another car had spun, which he might have to lift for too, because we had a yellow flag for this corner at the time. So you got to be careful knowing somebody's probably spun and going slow on the track. So we got a spot back. Um, that's pretty cool. Let's try a different angle, see how it goes. Again, up the inside, slowed down a lot to make sure we get our turn done, and got the position. So again, clean battle, clean racing, giving each other room, being safe. So now, let's move to the cars behind us, our focus here a little bit. So we got Art behind us trying to challenge, and then he gets Paulo behind him trying to work on him. So this is great for me because they get to battling, and hopefully I can use all the track. They touch a little bit there. So there's a little bit of bumping going on there. What do we want to do here? Chase or chase. Okay, so they're coming through. They're coming through this right-hander. Paulo stuffs it up the inside. Almost makes contact. Art squeezes him a bit and thinks better of it. And then Paulo comes over here. I think they touch there. Art gets in the brake here in the four. Paulo shoots up the inside. Almost rear ends me. Oh, and Art cut the tires there. And that bouncing of the tires in the air lost enough rear traction that. Okay. So then Paulo had an excellent run out of that turn. He just came out of like excellent speed, passing a car and coming out of the turn with more speed than me, the lead car here in this little spot. So he's got to run. I see it. Give him room, and he pulls it off. He had the momentum from coming out of that last turn better, and use that to make the pass. Great move. I'm just trying to stay in his draft. Duck to the inside. I thought that was a little bit dangerous there. Um, so we're side by side. We both know we're side by side. Uh, Follow on with him. So he kind of, so he's on the outside here. He's barely clear and immediately pulls it to the right a bit. So from my perspective, that was, uh, I had to lift to not have us both wreck here. So we'll watch this at half speed. Doesn't look too bad. Okay, let's try it at real speed. Nah, I guess it's fine. I had to lift a little bit, and so that's what I just figured he might do that, or I felt it. So that was fun too. So somebody messed up here. I don't know. Somebody up ahead messed up, and so I saw it at this point. I saw the little puff of smoke right here, the car sideways puff of smoke. So I'm like, okay, keep my foot in it. You can see I don't lift. Throttle down, and I'm figuring I'm gonna go opposite whichever way he goes. And so he goes. It looks like he's gonna go Paulo here in front of me. It looks like he's going to go to the right, and I don't think the right is a good idea. I go left, and then he goes left, which is the right move, uh, and we keep it going. Neither one of us really lifted it off for that. Um, with these cars, with small amount of horsepower, momentum being such a big thing, you really don't want to have to lift. And so if you can take advantage of using some other cars to pick, even if that's a spinning car, you try. Because if he had lifted a little bit, I'd have had him. Somebody else spun there. So you see these other cars spin, and you're like, car looks pretty stable. How's that possible that people spin? You're on a edge all the time of the edge of traction, trying to ride that edge of traction, push that thing to the limit, carry as much speed through each one of these turns as you can. Sometimes you get it wrong. Sometimes you panic a little bit and then react the wrong way. Uh, Paulo like smoked it going into one there a little bit. It looked like trying to find a decent angle where we can see far enough ahead. Guess we'll stick with this one. There we go. Paulo lost it going into turn one. Lost the rear end under braking. Just probably held his brakes a little too long as he's turning. The rear end locks up, loses traction, or just loses traction. Um, Starts sliding a bit, and that's what happens. He's not too far behind. He regained pretty quickly. He didn't lose a whole lot of time on the track. Oh, I screwed up my entry massively, and I saw him coming. But I figured I could keep it on track and still make the turn. So let's see. So I screwed up my braking, locked it up, ran wide. So we should be getting on the brakes pretty hard right about here. We're a little bit slow in getting up to maximum braking pressure. And then started backing off the brake a little bit for some reason. Still at 90%-ish, 85%. Start rolling off the brake, 50% or so. And then maybe realize, uh-oh, we didn't get enough braking done. Start rolling back up to 50%, kind of playing with it. Realize we're starting to turn, but the car ain't turning. We still got too much brake on. Now turn the car more and more. Still at like 30% braking. You can't try to do that much turning and still be on the brake. So now we're running straight. We're going to run off the track here. Get the car way slowed down. Get back on. I'm going to decide I'm going to keep it here. Well, he's coming up, taking the turn much better. Now he's got to hit the brakes hard to avoid running into us and not lose it. So that was definitely very close to near wreck there. Almost can't get any closer than that. So I screwed that up totally, but was able to maintain my position by being dangerous and just keeping it on the track, which I think is legit. I didn't screw up my turn on purpose, but I kept it on the track and wasn't swerving around. He's getting a run here. The front end of my car is just not gripping, not turning. You can tell I ran wide on exit there. All right, so we had some contact here, and Paulo gets by. I was not happy about that. I realized the front end of my car is not gripping as well. We ran wide back here. Let's back up and see how we screwed this up from the beginning. I guess this is as good a view as any. All right. So I'm on the curbs a little bit early. Should be on them a little bit later. Turning in, I didn't get the car turned quite enough. He's on the throttle earlier. Runs out. Looked like he came close to clipping us, but I don't think he did. Turn in early here. He's now kind of on the outside, sort of in no man's land a little bit. We're able to get back to the throttle earlier. I know he's on my inside still, so I leave room. He doesn't use any of the curb and then runs it wide. So there's a car to his left. There's a car to his left, and he sort of straight lines it out, like leaving no room. Um, so he could have kept turning or not been on the throttle quite so hard. Let's see how much we're on the throttle here. We're on the throttle like 30%. So runs it into us, and now I'm just a passenger at this point, trying to figure out how to get this thing under control. So I wasn't happy about that. Said something.
Both passes you pulled off recently, both contact.
To me, it looked in the mirror like the other pass on Art. They had made contact, and they did make contact, but that wasn't what caused the pass and the spin. I was just upset. That was avoidable. It's the car that's passing's responsibility to make a clean pass, and I don't think I was like blocking or doing anything to make that impossible. I think that here's just a little bit of frustration. Lost it. Um, Still thinking about that earlier thing probably, and probably trying too hard to make up ground. Pushed a little too much. So anyway, now we are running ninth. I think we were eighth, but then with that last spin right there, car got by it. So I think we're running ninth at this point. We're on lap 18 of 25. And let's go ahead and see if there's anything else interesting to watch. I'm looking for some other incidents. This guy loses it. Looks like the same way I lost it, same place. This is Art by himself. Went off a little. He is right behind me, looks like. This is Paulo again. He is. Looks like he ran wide a little. Same spot Art just did. And looks like that was it. That was the end of the race. Nothing else interesting happened. There was no other incidents. Maybe we'll take a look at the start again just for a split second here, see if there was anything interesting to see. Um, let's jump up to one of these mid-pack cars, and we'll look at this from maybe TV2 camera. See how this goes. Relatively clean. Yeah, pretty clean. So one of the things I like about this class is generally people are um, pretty respectful of other people, of other racers, and that's what. Oh, that was that wreck that was going on all around us there. That's what makes it fun. People giving each other room. As I say that, you hear crunching going on. Let's see here. What was that? Oh, the car's coming back on. Oh, these guys getting into it. That's the crunching we heard. Car 16 and 18. So you can see like car number kind of indicative of um, issues. Oh, there was me. 3 and 4. So not always. Can screw up too. That was Paulo going off by himself. Oof. Collecting somebody. Oh, somebody got loose. The car behind him was able to save it. Let's see what else we got here. A little hot. Yep. Saved it. Oh, lost it on entry into the chicane. Lost it into turn one. Rear end started slipping. Lost it into turn one right after that. Trying to avoid him. Put it in the wall. Probably got the worst end of that whole thing. So the guy who spun, no damage. The next guy who came up on him, damage. And a lot harder time getting it out of the wall. Lost it into the chicane. Lost it into the chicane, it looks like. Almost identical. Ran slightly wide. Held onto it. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, guys are banging into each other in front. Oof. Um, Somebody got loose going into one and then got hit. Lost it in the chicane. I think that might be the second time he's done that. Oh, guy right behind him did the same thing. So you see, it's basically turn one and in the chicane. Man, that 12 is really struggling. This is the chicane. Oh, wheel hopped it kind of sort of over that thing. That was the same thing Art did. And here's Art doing that. Yeah. Into the chicane. Hmm. Lost it in a new spot. Good for him. Oh, this is the car we came up on. This is when we were, neither one of us were lifting. We're flying through there. That was nice of him to wreck in a different spot. 12 car again. Oof, he really doesn't like turn one. 12 car again. Oh man, he is struggling. I'm surprised he's still in the race. Oh my gosh. He's not having a good day. I'm surprised he didn't have so many incident points he couldn't continue. Oh, he did. He did get disqualified. I remember. He was like a lap down in front of me at some point here, and he disappeared because too many incident points. Oh, almost collected somebody. All right, you get the idea. So let's see here. Results. We ended up finishing in eighth. We started in 12th. I think we got as high as sixth before we got into it there with Paulo. Um, oh, also earlier in the race before I had that spin, I think I was up as high as sixth. Lap times, lowest down to a 1 minute point one. A lot of in the 1 minute, some in the 101s. But cool. Thanks for watching.